Hey, what is going on everybody, and welcome to Fantasia. For today, we're going to be jumping into another session of Epic 7. Now today, got some RTA for you guys. So, let's go ahead and jump in, see what we can do. I really am curious to see if we can try to squeeze in a couple of fun units into this match. Dr. Koala, love that name. Pretty good stuff. First pick, Karina, is not what I expected. Banning Rimuru and Lua, huh? No Rimuru, which is interesting. I haven't really seen Rimuru all too much, although he did have a little spurt in a few weeks ago where people were picking him left and right. But with Karina here, Karina's pretty weak into immunity units, so you definitely want to have immunity buffers into this. I would say something along the lines of, and this might be overkill, but you can go Last Rider Crow for true damage and Hangai for some immunity. Hangai also just allows you to get attack up, and with that attack buff, you can actually bring in quite a few units that can deal quite a bit of damage into Karina. You can also bring in defense break units as well. We'll see if we can make it happen. But I want to test a couple options into Karina, if that's possible today. LR Crow is good for damage mitigation. As long as there's not an A Ravi on the other side, it's kind of manageable. Landy getting picked out is a little spooky, because we do have to worry about stuff like Karina. If you pick a fire unit into Landy, you have to worry about the Karina just bopping them, right? Luluka picked out is not actually that important. Landy prevents me from really picking Spectre comfortably here, but Luluka doesn't really matter. In fact, I could just open C Lilius and it wouldn't affect me in the slightest. We can try to go for... Senya is actually pretty decent into this team here, so we'll go for Senya. Good for breaking Landy out of stealth, provoking her. Good into Karina. And let me go for something like... Let's go Pirate Captain Flan. He doesn't really have fantastic cleansers, and we can control the Karina, prevent her from doing shenanigans. I think that's a pretty decent pick there. Lionheart Surmia is okay into the Senya. It doesn't really matter all that much for us here, because we can control her with the Pirate Captain Flan. But we could always ban the Lionheart, depending on this last pick. So let's see what they got for us. What else would be pretty decent into all of this? Perhaps something like Millam is still in the works, right? Still on the table. Could be okay. Oh, he's just gonna go straight up for a C Lilius. Alright, well, if he's gonna go for C Lilius, we could always go for... Actually, what could we go for here? We need another cleanser of some sort. DJB seems okay. But then we don't really have that much damage. Do we go for a Dilibet, actually? Dilibet seems okay here. Let's go for Dilibet. Let's ban the Lionheart Surmia. Or do we? Do we have to ban the Karina or the Lionheart Surmia? He's letting the Senya through. So we have to ban the Lionheart, I think. And then we have a pretty good grasp of the match, yeah? So good. Dilibet, Senya, and LRK as some damage dealers. I think we're quite alright. I think we should be okay, because he can't really debuff the whole team. Dilibet can cleanse, Hangai can cleanse. And with no units to really punish our Senya, we might be alright. 20 KHP C Lilia, so not a whole ton of effectiveness. He's just gonna go for a provoke, gonna push back the Senya. Do I really care about this? Do I buff here and let the Luluka strip everything? Or maybe I don't. Maybe I just go for an S1. There's no reason to cleanse there, right? Luluka seems like she's pretty squishy. Let's go ahead and just... Yeah, she is very, very squishy there. So probably built on a ton of effect resistance. Let's see what the Karina does. If she's gonna go for an S3, she's almost 20k health. Oh my god. She might be missing some defense though. Okay, no defense break, which is nice. Landy gets to use her first S3. We do get a bunch of barriers, which is fine. Senya does get a passive, but that's okay. As long as Luluka gets the proc, like if Luluka S3's here, it's perfectly fine because we haven't used any of our cleanses, and because of that, we are actually in a pretty decent position. If we get debuffed here, Dilibet will push herself up, and it'll be pretty good for us, yeah? Okay, so good. LRK can just go for an S3 so that we can cleanse with Dilibet, and we'll be good to go. That's a lot of damage here. Ice Cream is proccing everywhere, left and right. We're going to provoke that Sea Lilius. That's actually pretty good for us. And now Karina gets to S3, but everyone has immunity as of right now, so we don't worry about the defense break. We do worry a little bit about the Landy, but Dilibet should be able to cut here. We have 4 debuffs. Actually, no, she doesn't get to cut here, does she? 4 debuffs, we might. I forget how much Fighting Spirit she gets. Right, see, not that much damage at all, doesn't break the barrier. Sea Lilius gets to go, Dilibet should cut after this. There we go, and we get to go before this Landy does, so let's cleanse everybody up. Go for the AoE. Alright, there we go, very nice. And well, let's go for an S2, just attack down this Landy. That'll really stifle her damage output, even though she gets a full burst, but it's not really going to do all that much. The bad thing is, my team is pretty far back, and my opponent should be able to turn cycle quite well with this Landy's CR push and speed buff, but look at that, the attack down made it so that was barely any damage whatsoever, and Senya still hasn't popped her S3, so we're in a pretty decent position, and so my opponent surrenders there. Yeah, with that Landy being so low and Senya not having her S3 popped, it was pretty much over. Hangai Dilibet, so this is why Hangai is super important to have, or at least having 2 cleansers, I should say. In my case, Hangai would be great into something like Luluka, because I need a slower cleanser, and I need a cleanser who can cut, right? DJB, Dilibet, those work. But having 2 cleansers into Luluka makes it so that she really doesn't do anything. That's why people, when they pick Sea Lilius, the opponents can, if the opponent tries to counter with a Luluka, they pick Hangai right after, right? So Sea Lilius pops off, Luluka cuts, Hangai cleanses everything, and it's pretty much over at that point. This guy bans the Dilibet and Karina, goes for first pick Aola. Absolutely disgusting, sir. So let's go for units that absolutely don't care about Aola. So let's go for these 2 disgusting units as well. If you're gonna play Cancer, we're gonna play Cancer as well. 2 can play at that game. Now, picking a Ravi early does leave you susceptible to something like a Spectre Tenebria, but that hasn't stopped us from doing shenanigans. We can always bring out LR Crow Bellion into this type of team, LR Crow to steal it from the Spectre Tenebria picker, and Bellion to kind of punish the Spectre directly. You can also use Bellion to stop the opponent from stacking books. So you see here with the Aola and Spectre being mages, they can have books, and it could be pretty bad. Sharoon is decent into my team, I guess, but he's really lacking damage. Yeah, I just banned that Spectre Tenebria and it's pretty much over. Oh god. I would have loved to play that out. I mean, I just banned that Spectre Tenebria. That's great. Oh man, absolutely beautiful. Right, why can't more people pick like that? Wish people up in Emperor would do that, give me some free wins here and there. Okay, but speaking of Emperor, we're fighting against a champion player. We're not out of Challenger yet this season. So, Aola pre-ban, Sea Lilius pre-ban. Oh my god, look at that beautiful, beautiful team right here. So actually, I'm going to go for a Hangai first pick. I don't want to pick Arwell. The reason being is that LR Crow has been a fantastic damage mitigation unit for me, because he can also deal damage, right? Okay, never mind. My opponent's going to take the LR Crow, so that is kind of out of the picture. I wanted LR Crow, because it would be pretty nice. Ooh, he goes for Luluka. See, here's the thing, right? Again, with Luluka into Hangai, like, I can just pick something like Sea Lilius here. Or no, he bans Sea Lilius. But if you pick an opener, right, and has non-attack skill, you can actually just bait out the Luluka, and it's perfectly fine. I'm not that kind of player though. I don't really play that fast. I don't usually play openers. That's why I usually open up with a cleanser or I open up with a knight for damage mitigation. Into this, what do we pick? Spectre would be nice to steal away from the LR crowd, but that leaves me pretty vulnerable to a lot of shenanigans that come afterwards. But you know what? Hand Guy and A Ravi is good into the LR Crow. And I should pick a knight, so I'm going to go ahead and pick the Arwell here as damage mitigation against the LR Crow. A Ravi, I don't really want to pick her all the time, but because LR Crow exists here, she is a fantastic counter. One of the reasons why I actually got her is because I needed something that can hard counter this LR Crow. Now, into all this, actually Landy's just fantastic into all of this right here. I think I just do that, right? I just pick Landy. Yeah, Landy is just fantastic into everything here. We pick Landy. We can go for... what else do we go for here? You can't go for evasion, so you can't go for stuff like Rylet, because the true damage from the Karina and the LRK is going to be too much. Let's go for Landy. And I think we can go for... is Senya decent? No, Senya's not great here. Arunka, not really. I need a really strong, like, AoE damage dealer. Like another one. Ooh, would Arya... actually, Arya would work here. Yeah, let's go for Arya. Seems like a pretty decent pick. Alright, Anchor up with Arya. Milim is getting picked out, so we have to ban that because she's good into Landy and Arya, but I think we're good to fight the first four. Nice, he let the Landy through. That's what I like to see. Okay, we just don't have to pop our non-attack skill on ML Cowrick, it's fine. Alright, Landy gets to go first, so let's go ahead and push up the entire team. Oh, that's a lot of damage onto that Spectre Tenebria. We could go for an S2, we can try to put up a barrier, or we can let Arwell stun. I think that's probably better, right? So let's go ahead and hit here. Ooh, that's a nice little dual attack. Fantastic dual attack, actually. Let us go for... what's the turn order? Is LRK... ooh, LRK's faster than their Luluka. Can we get a stun here? We do have an effectiveness buff. So if this is 100 effect res LRK, I have about 70-something effectiveness on Arwell. Nice, we do get the stun. That is huge. Landy stealth with a giant barrier. So now we can't get knocked out of it, because Spectre's first hit is always a single target. He is going to try to stun. Ooh, unlucky, actually. He should have been able to stun there, but unlucky. Alright, let's go ahead and hit the Luluka down. And now I think we're pretty set. Karina gets that defense buff. We got really lucky with this match here because the A Ravi didn't get stunned by the Spectre, allowing us to give all this damage into this Luluka. Hand Guy is getting pushed up too, which is nice from the Warhorn. So we get to turn cycle. I want to try to finish off this Luluka. She does get that ice cream buff, so there is going to be a bit of healing, but Landy is hot on her heels. So I think that'll be okay. I think I can just go for an S3 here. There's no reason not to. I know the Luluka can push up, but it doesn't really matter at this point. Right? Yeah, so it doesn't really matter because we have a ton of damage incoming with Landy's full burst S3. There's a defense buff and a barrier on the other side. But if we can kill this Luluka, then her ice cream doesn't really matter. Ooh, yeah, there you go. So, does not matter in the end. Let's go ahead and try to strip this defense buff from the LR Crow. Very nice. Having some effectiveness built onto Arwell is definitely important there too. But, gotta admit, pretty lucky there without the A Ravi getting stunned. If she was stunned there by the Spectre, then we would have been in trouble, right? I probably would have played it differently though. Wouldn't have given Luluka the full buff, would have made sure to use ML Cowrick, probably as S2 or something, and then Landy would have been able to deal some damage. Oh my god, what is that? Is that profile picture? I have no idea. Anyway, let's keep on going here. Zio and Lua, let's pre-ban those. Ooh, LRK pre-banned, very nice. Ahmed pre-banned as well. So without LRK, I'm not forced to kind of fight with like A Ravis and stuff. That is actually pretty good. And Spectre is a little bit less of a threat with LRK gone, because you can pick Bellion into Spectre without the LRK there to benefit from the Bellion's AoEs. So Karina gets picked up. Why are people picking Karina for... Is this a meta that I don't understand? Did the meta change when I fell asleep last night? Like, what happened? Okay, Karina. LRK's banned. Karina. You still need immunity. Do we go DJB? Do we go... What do we do here? Do we go Luluka? Do we just slap Luluka into this because we can? I think we just go Hangai. I think we can go... Is it too early to go Spectre? Maybe not. Let's go Spectre. I'm gonna take Spectre. There's no LR crowd, but let's take Spectre. I kind of felt like maybe DJB could be okay. The problem with DJB is his HP pool is so much lower than Hangai's that if Karina just slaps him, he's dead. DJB has 30% crit damage reduction when he doesn't have his S3 popped, so if it's available, then he has that mitigation. The problem is that Karina does not crit, so she's pretty good into DJB, especially with how squishy he is, like 13k health. It's not going to be enough to survive. Aiden getting picked out is really annoying, along with Bellion, but his team is quite slow, so we might be able to get away with something like a Zahak here. Zahak seems to be fine. We can play a more tempo-based match. We can go Zahak. We can probably go for... Who else would be a decent unit to have? I would say C. Lilius could be okay, actually. Why don't we go C. Lilius here? Yeah, let's go C. Lilius. We hardly ever pick her, but I think she's a good option at this point. Get some support units, debuffs on the whole team. Attack down, AoE is fantastic. He's gonna pick Luluka. Doesn't matter because we have Hangai. But with the last two picks, I can always ban Luluka, and then he's kind of screwed, right? He's just kind of screwed into this type of team. I could also go for... I don't want to go for Briarwitch, because Bellion can hit her out of the stealth. But what else would be decent into Aiden and this? This looks like a team that's easily controlled. We could probably go Pirate Captain Flan. Looks like a team that's very easily controlled. So we can go Pirate Captain Flan here. Could we just ban the Luluka? I don't see why not. Let's go for Pirate Captain Flan. Let's ban the Luluka. I know Pirate Captain Flan can trigger Celine. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. That's actually perfectly fine. I know he's doing the Celine to kind of protect himself against all the non-attack skills that'll be coming out, but we don't need to pop the non-attack skills immediately. We can actually just go straight for the Celine, because his team is really slow, right? So we can just go straight for her without using any non-attack skills. Oh my god, look at that beautiful hit there. Okay, Karina has a chance to nuke the Zahak, but it's a 50-50 as to whether he lands. Oh, he's just going to go for the hand guy. That is fine, because we can get rid of the Celine, and then we can still pop hand guy. Okay, that's okay. That's a lot of damage, but it's still okay, because we can go for... Ooh, do we just go for the... Do we go for the Aiden here? Do we fight the Celine or do we fight the Aiden? I think we'll go for the Aiden. Let's just go S3 into the Aiden here. Yeah, let's just finish her off. That's fine. We do get to get rid of the defense break, which is kind of nice. I'll go for an S2 onto the Celine. Try to get a barrier to help protect us. Unfortunately, it doesn't kill, but that's okay. It's a pretty bulky Celine, 14k HP. Most people are building Celines more bulky now, so that means she's not going to have a ton of damage, given that, yeah, we do have decent bulk on our units. Let's go ahead and stun the Bellion. She probably doesn't have resistance, because she looks pretty fast. Resistance Bellions tend to be 0 speed. I've been seeing a lot of 0 speed Bellions that are just there, and they're really annoying. Like, you can't debuff them, they have a ton of bulk, and then they just sit there and they counter you or they elbow you, right? Good. Zahak was able to get rid of that Celine. And at this point, I think we can just S3. Let's get an attack buff up for everybody. No reason not to. We can lap here as well, because we get 50% combat readiness. Karina's gonna go, but there's no way for her to really get rid of the Spectre and the Zahhak. He's gonna try. He's definitely gonna be trying. We can S2 to turn cycle somebody. Might as well turn cycle the Spectre. I know I don't need this, but I might as well turn cycle to get my skills back up. Let's hit the Karina, because she has a buff, so Zahhak deals more damage to her. Let's keep pushing up with this, and we should be able to finish her off with the Spectre. And now we get to buff with Sea Lilius as well, so yeah, there you go. The Luluka there was kind of awkward, because I already had the hand guy with Sea Lilius. You can't really, again, you can't really pick Luluka into these two and not get punished by the fact that Sea Lilius baits out the Luluka. He did well with picking Celine too, which is why I ended up banning the Luluka. He had 2 counters into my kind of non-attack skill units, but in the end, because his team was so slow, the momentum I get from Sea Lilius' dual attacks and from hand guys like kind of CR pushing with S1 and his self CR push with S3 later on in the ending turns adds so much value, right? So for my opponent to have countered that successfully, that was a hilarious profile. This is my religion. I approve of that religion, sir. Oh god. I lost my train of thought, but yeah, for Luluka to have been successful there, he had to have picked her earlier, but he would have also have needed to have prevented me from getting something like a Sea Lilius to bait her out. Okay, let's see. Spectre Tenebria first pick. Sea Lilius banned. Wow, all the openers are banned. Bellion's banned, so let's take the LR Crow. Let's take that from my opponent. Don't let my opponent get that. Gosh, what do I pick here? Again, I just really want to go for the hand guy. It's kind of addicting, just being able to be so reliable at cleansing the team. I don't have to worry about opponents having weird Sea Lilius builds or Lua builds that can sleep or debuff or reset or push back or provoke my DJB. It's great. But we're going for this just so I can grant myself immunity. Double immunity buffer is very important here. Spectre Tenebria teams can kind of stack up debuffs pretty quick, as you can see. Para, right? Para DJB actually a very common combo. I should probably try that out sometime. Para and DJB together. I'm just not very confident in it, which is why I'm sticking to stuff that I know is pretty reliable. So Para and DJB with Spectre Tenebria. This looks very much like an Ed game. I really want to pick Ed here. A-Ravi's not great because of Restrict from Para. But this looks like a fantastic Ed game. What else would be decent here? What else would be decent here? Senya? Senya could be okay, actually. Yeah, Senya could be fine. We can go for Senya into this type of team. We can go for Ed as well. Ed's pretty decent. Right? Could we punish the DJB somehow? Could we possibly pick... Yeah, you know, we can... Okay, now that he's locked in this Lone Crescent Bellona, we can lock in Celine as our 5th pick unit, and I think we'll be okay. Yeah, we're gonna ban whatever that last pick is. Yep, we have to ban that Laika, so we're gonna ban it. He's probably banning Celine, because it's good into DJB, Para, and Laika, but I have no way of stopping Laika. I need DJB in order to cut Laika here. So we're going to ban her. Celine's going to be the force ban, which is perfect for me, because now I get to keep Senya, as well as my Ed. We'll put Senya in the back for aesthetics. Actually, I guess we can put her in the front. Does that look cool with her spear in the front and LR Krau's sword in the back? I don't know. It's aesthetically pleasing, I guess. It's not bad. Let's go for it. So Senya's going to be leading the charge. Para's going to go. Is she going to rip her skills? Let's see. Bellona's actually decent into Ed. He's just gonna go for his non-attack skill, actually. Bellona's decent into Ed, because she doesn't carry any debuffs, but Spectre has poison, and Para has debuffs as well. Essentially, we just have to burst down this Bellona, and we should be okay. Bellona is also really good into the Senya, but I couldn't have let that ML Leica through, so that's just a bit of an issue on my end in terms of draft. He picked well. Bellona is actually a pretty decent DPS into both of my DPSs here. The only one she's not great into is LRK, so I'm going to hope that LRK carries his weight here. Oh, he's just going to Soul Burn. He's going to go for the MO Cowrick. Alright, we get to cut here, so it doesn't really matter. She should not be able to kill. It's a 9k Spectre, but that is a lot of damage. Oh my god. That is a ton of damage there. Do we go for the S3 or do we go for the S2? I think I go for the S2 and I just debuff this Bellona. Get that attack down. She does counter, but it's fine. See, not that much damage. She's just building up her stacks too, so we gotta make sure she doesn't have the attack buff. She's gonna S1. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna S3 here, because Ed's S3 actually ignores damage share, so we get to go through and ignore this Pera's Escort. Be a lot of damage coming in. Oh, very nice. Very, very nice. And I am a little scared of the Bellona's counter, but I think we'll be okay. Let's just S1 here. Let's not S3, because I don't want Bellona to counter and heal, okay? Because LR Crow's gonna come in, and hopefully this will be enough damage. Hopefully. It might not be. The Para does have Escort up. Oh, not quite enough damage, so that's a shame. But we do get to keep our barrier, which is good. And Ed does have another chance. Everyone does have immunity now, so the Para doesn't really matter all too much. He does have barrier inversion, though. I do have to keep that in mind. Alright, so now is the moment of truth. Do I get to prevent this Bellona from countering? If he counters me, he'll be in a little bit of trouble. Hopefully not. 30% chance. Okay, there we go. No counter. Do I S3? I think I do. Let's go for the S3. Hopefully we can lap here. Because the Bellona and the Spectre should not be as fast as me. Oh, Bellona does cut, unfortunately. She does still have an attack down. She could probably Soul Burn the S3 into Hangai, and it'll work out pretty well. Yeah, he's gonna go for it. Gonna grant that Vigor buff. He should be able to take me out. That's unfortunate. That Bellona did survive all my hits from earlier. Ooh, we do get to push up, though. That's not too bad. I will take it. Let's go for the CR push. Push up that Senya here. Alright, and then we should be able to rip an S3 so we get that counter buff up. Oh. Okay, he took us out. That's fine. Ed still has immunity, so he can go for Ed, but he's not going to. He's going to opt to go for LR Crow. Interesting. Alright, let's go for Senya's S3. I'm going to Soul Burn it. Probably could have Soul Burned Ed's S3, but I think he's still on cooldown right now. Okay, there we go. Nice. She is blind, and she does miss. That's good. Senya gets a little barrier for the team. LR Crow is getting quite low on his health, though. He does have S3 up, which is good. It should take out everybody here. I don't think DJB has anything he can do. He can only S1. Yeah, so we will get to S3, and my LRK is on lifesteal, so this should heal a ton of health back. Especially given that this is second S3, should be more powerful than the last one. Oh yeah, look at that, and he heals up quite nicely too. So without any mitigation for his Bellona, we should be able to deal quite a bit of damage. And hopefully Senya... Oh no, she gets to heal here. Otherwise, the true damage would have finished her off. Yeah. Not quite. You can finish off LRK. Okay, so he gets that. But Ed, come on. Oh, we get the S3 again. I'm not going to Soul Burn this. I don't think there's a point. Let's just go for the S3. I don't think this kills. Oh no, it does! Alright! Fantastic. So there you go. Even though Bellona was a very nice DPS pick there, we ended up just overwhelming her with damage. She did get quite a few good counters in, and quite a few good passive hits in too to keep her alive and sustained. So pretty well played to my opponent there, actually. And it's about the 30-minute mark, so wow, I'm lost track of time, but enjoying myself in RTA. So we're gonna end things here, guys. So thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe for more Epic 7 content. And until next time, take care.